Folks, remember that as we talk about the two axes of performance and scalability, that we have the FlexConnect capabilities, we have the centralized capabilities of wireless LAN controllers, and then we have the converged capabilities of wireless LAN controllers. And it's that converged model that Cisco is really thinking about when they're talking about unified access products, because they are unified. Literally, the switching components and the wireless components are integrated together, high-speed access. So I want to talk about some of those specific products and just get a feel for what they look like and how they're going to be supported in our network. So the first of those that we're going to see is the Catalyst 3650. And this Catalyst switch is, again, it supports 25 access points, 1,000 clients, 40 gig per switch bandwidth with 160 gigabits per second in the StackWise configuration. So again, designed to be extensible, StackWise component, supports good security, granular QoS, NetFlow. It's based upon iOS XE, power over Ethernet. Okay, so very good product, and again, gives us very high speed access to what we need, and is certainly a good high performing, high speed level of wireless LAN controlling. But we can get higher than that with the Catalyst 3850. When you're talking this, we're doubling it down to 50 access points and 2,000 clients, 40 gig per switch, 480 gigabits per second in the stacking bandwidth along the backplane, so even faster. So again, stack power-based devices, got a little bit more high availability here, multi-core CPU, again, that iOS XE able to manage that quite well, and again, similar components over here with power over Ethernet, as well as security and NetFlow and QoS. Then we could talk about the Catalyst 4500 Supervisor Engine 8E. So this is a modular approach, and this has a lot of redundant components into it. You'll notice 4 gigs of DRAM, quad-core CPU, redundant power supplies, high-speed uplinks. It's got its SD card slot for integration there. And let's just look at some of the stats there. Again, very high speed in the backplane, 928 gigabits per second, 48 gigabits per second in terms of per slot for connections, 20 gig wireless, 40 access points, 2,000 clients. So again, it is an integrated component. That's kind of what it's been tuned to, right? That's the strength it has. Kind of actually somewhere in between the first two of those Catalyst switches we looked at. Again, high-speed uplinks. The key thing here is it really has built out a lot of the high redundancy elements, and that's huge for a lot of companies to have that level of stability associated with the device. Finally, we get to top of the heap, the 5760 wireless LAN controller. Now, the 5760 is interesting because it can function in either a centralized or a converged way, right? So it just depends on how you want to roll it out. But up to 1,000 access points, 12,000 concurrent clients. It has multiple ASIC chips that are able to give us high-speed wireless integration. First iOS-based wireless LAN controller, very cool. Again, we see these components down here in terms of similar to what we saw before, granular QoS, NetFlow, 60 gigabits per second of wireless bandwidth. That's great. That's huge. Multiple power supplies, high availability port, FRU fans. Once again, we're seeing a lot of support for high availability stability. So this is the top of the heap when it comes to performance and scalability of wireless LAN controllers here in this converged unified access product line. Does that mean you should go buy it? No, not necessarily. But if I'm thinking to myself, I want one device that can manage the 800 access points that I have to be able to have the bandwidth to be able to make that happen and perform well, then maybe this is the right product for me. And instead of having multiple devices and trying to get those to coordinate together, maybe this is the product that I should look at. That's always what it comes down to, right? That determination of price relative to value.